Hi everyone, it's Mike here. This is the briefing video for the Grafman triathlon taking place on the 5th of June. So when you arrive at the venue, there will be car parking signs up outside showing you the way in, that say Grafman triathlon on. So bring yourself into the main car parking area. When you move into the car park, there will be marshals there instructing you where to go. They are going to instruct you to go right through the main tarmac car park to what's known as the overflow car park on the grass, because that's the one that we're going to be using for the triathlon. That leaves the main car park free for the normal visitors they have here at the park for later in the day. Registration is actually going to be open for those who want it the evening before the event. So we're going to open between 5 and 7 o'clock in the evening for those who want to come down the night before and pick up their numbers, etc., so they can prepare their bike and everything the night before. On the day of the event itself, we will be open at 5:30 in the morning, okay, and we'll be closing, well, just immediately, sort of like prior to when the swim starts and things are, so about 6:45. So once you've parked up in the car park, you're then going to head your way over to registration. Follow the Race HQ signs to get there. When you arrive, you're going to go to the registration tent, and that's where you're going to tell them your name, and they'll basically check you off against your entry, and in return you will get an envelope with in that envelope there will be 2 numbers. There will also be 2 stickers, okay? And then also there'll be some pins, etc. there for you. You're also going to be given a timing chip, which will obviously be required for timing you throughout the race. Okay, so the numbers that you receive at registration, a number needs to be visible on the back for the bike leg and on the front for the run leg. Now, if you've got a number belt, triathlon number belt, you just put one number on and you can twist it round from the back to the front. If you haven't got a number belt, doesn't matter, that's fine. You've got 2 numbers, you just pin one to the front of your top and one to the back of the top that you're going to wear for the bike and the run leg, okay? For the stickers that you get, one of those is going to be for your bike, so stick it somewhere visible on your bike, on the top tube or the seat post, somewhere like that. And the other one goes on your helmet, so these are so that we can identify that this is your equipment at the end of the race to make sure no one else steals off with your valuable property from transition, okay? Now the ankle chip you get, that must be worn on your left ankle. So the reason why it's worn on your left ankle is for 2 reasons. One is that's where the side where all the timing guys are going to put their scanners to make sure that it reads correctly. And the other reason is because it goes on your left ankle so that when you're on the bike, nothing gets caught up in your chain and in your gear mechanisms and your pedals when you're riding. If it's on the right hand side and it comes a bit loose, the strap comes off or whatever, then it's going to get caught in your mech, etc., and cause an accident. So wear it on the left hand side, on the outside. Make sure the chip is on the outside of your leg pointing out, okay? When you're getting ready for the swim, if you're wearing a wetsuit, please try and avoid covering over the chip, otherwise it won't read correctly when you come out of the water. There's a chance it's not going to read, especially when your wetsuit's soaking wet. Alright, so please do try and make sure it's exposed as much as possible, so that then we get a good read at the timing chips, okay? This large grassy area behind me here is where registration is going to be, and also the transition area and also the finish line. So when you guys all turn up, it won't look like this. It's going to have lots of racking and all the rest of it, all here. When you come to transition, so after you've registered, you come to transition, what you'll need to gain access to the transition area, you'll need to have your race number with you, and then also you'll need to have your helmet on to gain access into transition. You need to make sure that you have a safe fitting helmet, and also you need to put your stickers onto your bike and also onto your helmet, okay? Also we'll be checking your hand, because we will have asked you, you want to check to make sure you've got your number written on your hand. Then you're going to rack up your bike in the appropriate point. Marshals will advise you where the racking points are for that. And then what we do recommend, just a bit of a tip here, is that you have a really good look at the entrances and exits to and from transition, and sort of just walk them backwards and forwards as though you're actually in the race. So when you swim in, etc., going out on the bike, coming back from the bike, and then also going out on the run. The reason for this is that after you've completed the swim, your head will be all over the place, and it can be quite sort of like quite confusing. And so yeah, sometimes people struggle to sort of find their bike. So one of the questions that we do often get asked before an event is, what was the water temperature? And obviously we can't tell you this until actually on the day of the event. The water temperature has to be taken on the morning to be able to advise you on say what the temperature is for the race. But I have just taken it just now. We're just over a week before the event's taking place, and the water temperature today was 17 degrees. So if it was taking place today, then it would be an optional wetsuit swim. We do follow British Triathlon guidance and rules on this. Okay, so anything between 14 degrees and the low 20s, I think it's 22, 23, something like that, it will be an optional wetsuit swim. It's very unlikely to be heading to into those mid-20s. So you can see behind me here the beach. This is where the swim start is going to go from, and it is a triangular swim of 950 meters. So obviously you're going to do 2 laps of it. And the reason why I'm showing you the beach here is because this is where we're going to do our Australian style swim exit from. So what you're going to do is, before the start, we're going to give you about 10 minutes or so of water acclimatisation. If those of you want it, you can go in the water here, have a bit of a dip, flush out your wetsuit, and then going to ask you to get out of the water with about 5 minutes to go. And then we're going to line you up. We are going to have some signs out telling people what sort of rough sort of swim times. So therefore you can sort of like, you know, start off with people of a similar ability to you. If you are looking to podium at the race, then we recommend that you go to the front, because the podium positions are going to be based upon the positions at the finish line rather than chip times. But other than that, I would recommend that you stand with people of similar swim ability to you. And then when the gun goes, you're going to start underneath our amazing arch, and you're going to run into the water and then go off on your triangular swim. We will have buoys at the halfway point on the way out and on the way back to help you with your sighting. After you've completed 1 lap, you come back to the shore here, and then you're going to get out, run along the beach, get back in again and complete another lap. Absolutely amazing. It's what's known as an Australian style swim exit. All the crowds come down, cheer you on, and yeah, it makes for a real spectacle. So when you're in the swim, we will obviously have water safety guys out there on the water, keeping you safe. And if at any point you get into any trouble, simply roll onto your back and stick one hand in the air, give it a bit of a wave, and the guys will come over to you and check you out and make sure you're okay. If you need any assistance or returning to shore, then they'll help you with that. For that reason, you're not allowed to do backstroke in the swim, because if you start doing backstroke, it's going to look like you need help and you're going to get rescued. So that's the only stroke that you're not allowed to do in the swim. Got to be honest, I don't recommend butterfly either, but hey, everyone to their own, eh? So you completed the swim, you've done your Australian exit, done your 2 laps, and then you're going to come out here to where the transition area is. You're going to run into transition, find your bike, and then the first thing you need to do in transition is put your helmet on. Okay, obviously after you take your wetsuit off. So you're going to take your wetsuit off and then put your helmet on, and then after that you're allowed to touch your bike. So remember, don't touch your bike until after you put your helmet on. Then you're going to unrack your bike and then take it out through the bike exit in transition, and then you need to walk or run with your bike to the mountain line, which actually is a little bit of a way away, sort of like just the other side of the cafe. You suggest you go and have a good look at that when you're sort of setting everything up. Make sure you know where it all is, and you're not allowed to get on your bike until after you've crossed over that mountain line. Okay, there'll be a mountain line there with flags, it'll be really obvious. Just make sure you cross over it, and then you're allowed to get on your bike after that. So after you've safely mounted your bike, you're going to head out to the main road, and there you're going to turn left. There will be a marshal on that point. But as with all of the turnings on the bike course, it's your own responsibility to ensure that it is safe to pull out into the traffic. So you're going to turn left, and you're going to head up here towards Ellington Village. At Ellington Village here, you're going to come up this road, and then just up here you're going to take a right turn around this village green, and then this is also, by the way, in this area here where we will have the drink station and feed station, which I'm sure on the first lap won't be required, but it will be more relevant for everybody on the second lap. if you require it. And there we'll have some water, we'll have some energy powder as well for you to be able to mix with the water if you wish, for your to put in your water bottles, and we'll also have some gels available. And then you turn around this green and then basically rejoin the road down there and then head back towards Grafman Water. Of course, as you get past Grafman Water again for the on the out and back, hopefully there'll be some crowds there cheering you on as you go past, and then you'll be heading down towards the foot down point, which is what we're going to show you next. Okay, so after you've come past Grafman Water, you're going to head down to this junction here where you're going to turn right at the junction. Now this is the mandatory stop and foot down point. The reason for that is, as you can see, it is quite a fast road, okay, and if any cars coming along here in a second, you might just see how quick they come along here. Everybody must come to a complete stop and also put their foot down. So that doesn't mean that you can sort of like drag your foot along the floor while you're rolling through. That does not count. You must come to a complete stop, your wheels stop turning and your foot must touch the floor. Anyone who fails to do that will be disqualified from the race. We really don't want to have to do that. We don't want to disqualify everybody. We want this to be a fair race for everybody. So we are asking everybody that they must come to a complete stop and put their foot down at this point. There will be marshals here. There will also quite likely be a technical official here at times as well. When you come back from completing your bike, you then have to dismount before you get to the mount line, and then you're going to run with your bike back to your transition point, put your bike back, and then you're going to head out on the run. Now the run here is a 2-lap, it's an out and back. You actually go out and back either side of transition. So the first thing you do is you go out across the dam. You're just about to see in the background there, okay, the dam wall. You go all the way to the end of the dam. There'll be a drink station at the end of the dam giving water, okay, then you run all the way back, and then we will have a drink station here in the middle, which will also be having energy drink and some gels available for you. And then you go out in the other direction, which is over that way, okay, through the trees, and then you'll be heading out. It's a little bit more hilly on that side, and then you'll be heading out to the Fisherman's Car Park in Grafman, and there'll be a turnaround point there. Yet again, we'll have some water out there for you, and then you'll be running back to the transition point here. So you do that twice, out and back, okay, and it's 10.5k per lap, okay, so you do 2 laps of that, and then after you've completed that, you're going to run into the finish, which will be back here alongside transition. All be over, and you'll be able to celebrate as an official finisher at the Grafman Triathlon. So if you're bringing spectators with you, that's absolutely superb. We're looking for a really good atmosphere here at Grafman Water. This course is ideal for spectators. You get to see them twice in the swim with the Australian swim exit, and then also when they go out on the bike. With this being a 2-lap course now, they're going to get to see you as you ride past the entrance here. And you also do an out and back at the start as well, so they'll see you multiple times on the bike. And then of course on the run, they'll actually see you coming backwards and forwards in front of transition, so you get to see them multiple times on the run as well. So absolutely superb for spectators. There is a cafe on site for them. That cafe is going to be open from 6 AM in the morning, okay? Also worth noting that on the car park, we have an agreement in place with Grafman Water. You'll get a discounted car park price. So after when you arrive, you get given a ticket. Keep that ticket safe. When you come to registration, we will then be able to give you another ticket, and it's used in combination, okay, together at the payment points when you leave, to basically get a discounted price for the car park. So one of the things that is quite particular to Grafman Water is that after the event, you are required to dip your wetsuit in a disinfectant, and so what we will have is we will have some large bins there with disinfectant fluid in them. And the reason for this is that the water itself is actually home to an invasive type of crustacean, and the Waters Authority don't want that spreading to any of the other lakes or rivers in the UK. So all we need to do is, after you finish your race, before you're allowed out of transition, you do have to dip your wetsuit in that container full of disinfectant, okay? Okay, so that's about everything. So we look forward to welcoming you here to Grafman Water for the Grafman Triathlon event on June the 5th, and happy training, and hope everything goes well in your final preparations.